Let's talk about lowering the bar. We live in a society where the bar has been lowered and is being lowered across just all areas. You name it, institutionally, our government, people in their personal life, their standards, they're lowering the bar. Lowering the bar. So, just talking to one of my kids, and he's got a couple of failing grades. He's got a 68 in one class, and he's got a 61 in another class. And I was like, we need to talk. You're failing a couple classes, and this is not the first time that we've had this talk. We had this last year. And grades dropped down, and his response was, well, Dad, I'm not failing. I'm like, what do you mean you're not failing? He's like, well, I got a 68, a 61. I was like, yeah, that's my point. You're failing. No, that's not failing. 50s is failing. No, son. We've had this conversation too. 60s is failing. He's like, well, not at my school. And he does go to a private school. And just talking to my wife, and I guess this is the way the world is now, is that a 60s are no longer failing. That's not a failing grade. It was when I was a kid. And I'm not saying that everything in the world should be the way it was when we were, growing up. I don't believe that. That's a good viewpoint. I understand that things will evolve and some things will change and some things will they need to change. But this is just a lowering of a standard, right? And we'll get you will get out of life, my friend. You will get out of your life, you'll get out of your business, you'll get out of your health and your fitness, out of your relationships. You will get what you set your standards to. You set high standards, that's your target. I can almost guarantee, like, if you just demand more of yourself from others around you, your teams, things like that, then you will acquire more, achieve more, do more. If you lower your standards, guess what you'll get? That's what you'll get. And so I explained to him, I was like, son, I don't know, when this change in the world happened, but here at our house, our standard is going to be 70 is passing. You're not getting a phone, getting access to your phone if you're in the 60s, and really not even in the 70s. Like, he just like dipped down on stuff. And he doesn't have challenges. He's tested very, very high. He's actually gifted in math, yet he's failing math because he doesn't like math. So the point of this is for you watching this, like, be careful because it's a slippery slope, the world that we live in now with standards, and it's very easy to lower your standards with yourself, with your family, to kind of fall in that trap just the way society is. You see what the masses are doing. It's an easier road and path to take just to lower your standards rather than to do more, to require more of yourself, to require more of others. Really, that's it. So think about this in your life. Where have you lowered your standards? I see this a lot in people's fitness, overweight, out of shape, drinking out of control. They just lowered their standards, fell into a trap, watching others do what others do. Relationships, the same thing. Businesses, bank accounts, just lowering your standards. What what do you need to do? Where do you need to focus on raising your standards? I guarantee you have some areas in your life where you need to raise your standards. And sometimes it's almost as simple as that. Just making a decision to, like, I'm going to raise my standards in this area. I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to tolerate this. And if you just do that, if you just start there by raising your standards, you're going to find things to do, the necessary items and action things that you need to do to make it happen. But it's not going to start happening if you don't just raise your standards. If you're in a place that you need help, you feel stuck, and you don't know how to get your life or your business or your family or your relationship or your health to that next level, you're lacking the breakthrough that you need. And you need to be a breakthrough man instead of a broke down man. Hit me up. Send me a DM. I'll let you know. I can include you into one of our my weekly trainings that I do, and kind of show you some of the structures that I use to operate my life and operate my business, operate my family with. But you got to be willing to raise your standards.